cool?
Welcome back, Fun Fam, and if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to Follow the Bradleys Fun. This is the Daily Dish with me, your host, Ron E. Bradley, and I hope that wherever you are having a phenomenal day, morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever you're watching. I hope it's phenomenal. Speaking of the day, as of the recording and live streaming of this, today is the 12th day of March 2025, and some places here in the United States, we are well into spring break week. Spring break this week, next week. I think there's a lot of spring breaks in April because my Pixie Pass is blocked out of Disney for a lot of April. Actually, most of April blocked out of Disney. It's like I think 3 out of the 4 weeks in April I am blocked out of Disney. Sound check over here. It's like I think we sound good. That's good. I want to welcome everybody who's coming into the chat. I see some new friends that I made the other day at Epcot have come in to the chat. And Go and Shogi, if you want to share out their channel, I'd appreciate that. It is the Magic Adventures, MAJIC Adventures. Share out their channel. They are live streamers from the parks. And if you don't mind, Go and Shogi sharing their channel out, I appreciate it. Hey, Dylan, what's up? Equus Heart, I see a lot of people coming in. I'm going to say hi to everybody in just a minute. You know, I woke up literally like 5 minutes ago. Like, I didn't wake up 5 minutes ago, but literally 5 minutes ago, I'm like, man, I really, hey, it's one of those, having a morning show for somebody who's a night person is really hard. For years and years, I spent my life working at night, meaning that I would go to work, starting all the way back in Branson in 2003, my work schedule, I'd go to work at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and work until 10 at night. And then later on, just more recently, I would wake up at, or not wake up, but I would go to work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and work till 12 or 1. That was my typical schedule. And so I chose to do this because I want to get myself up in the morning and I want to have all that activity. But man, it's still very hard, especially with the time change and allergies. And last night, if you're watching T3PO, you might have noticed that I bugged out of that show early last night because I was on the T3 show, it's my allergies were just like getting to me. I had a headache. Busy day on Tuesdays, as always. This show, typically, I last Tuesday, a week ago, I did 5 shows. Yesterday, I was only able to handle it for 3. I did my show. I did WDW Pro for 2 hours. I did T3PO for 2 hours. And then I couldn't hang for the Spice Lounge last night with Lorena Creole, which I felt so bad about. I'm sure she had a great show, but I was falling asleep even at that time last night. So, Go and Shogi says, I woke up an hour early. There's no alarm clock. So, a cat sneezing directly into your face. Yeah, that would do it. I don't have a cat. I don't want to pay the pet fee here. Plus, we live in a small apartment. It would not really be that great. But I got to say hi to all of you because You guys know you're my gigawatts, you're my energon, you're the energon that makes this guy transform and roll out of bed in the morning to be here with you.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
We love that energy. So let's say hi to everybody that is in the chat right now. There's the Go and Show You with the energy, Energon. Thank you guys for being my Energon. Thank you guys for being here because, man, you make my day. When I get in here, I see like we already got 18 people watching this morning, which is fantastic. And of course, I know that as long as I stay consistent, I'll have 50, 60, 70, 100 by the middle of the year. I hope. We share this out on your social medias. Get the word out to all your friends. We love to have fun in the mornings, and I love to help you guys get your days started off right. And sometimes starting off right is with news that we wish that were better, but that's okay because we like to have fun with it. I got to get that clip from what is it, from Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I got to get the clip that talks about how to deliver the bad news in a good way. That will be that's a good clip for this show. Carter C was first through the door this morning, so hi Carter C. And then that service dog, woof woof, comes in with a good morning. Hey, that service dog, Native Hawaiian, says aloha and good morning, y'all. What is up, Noah? Good to see you. I hope you and your lovely wife are doing fantastic. And I hope we get to meet up again if you guys come back this year, because I loved meeting you last year. That was a blast. Dan's Life at the Kingdom says, good morning, everyone. Stalked Prince here to save the day. Good morning from Go and Shogi. And Magic Adventures, here they are. I think, if I remember correctly, I want to say that is it Mike and Jen, or is Jennifer, Mark and Jen? Let me know in the comments what your guys' name. The Magic, the MAJ actually stands for, like, it's like Mike and Jennifer, Jen, or Mark and Jen. I can't remember exactly what it stands for. It probably tells you on the channel. But we're both we both just met and trying to remember each other's names. Super nice live streamers from the parks, and we want to boost their channel, get them going, help them out. Native Hawaiian Go and Shogi says at Native Hawaiian Card C Service Dog Dan's Life Game Magic. Howdy, hey there, Dan's Life and Dan's Life Kingdom may have run into. Have you guys run into each other at the parks? Dan's Life, because I know Dan streams from the parks as well. Good morning, Go and Shogi. You ready to kiss Snow White without consent? Oh, the Snow White. Man, it's a sad thing the way that it's tracking. Hey guys, hanging with Erica and Raph. What is up, Erica? Good to see you. Jonathan Rubin says, I read online someone thought Magnifico from Wish, when he gets trapped in the mirror at the end, is becoming the magic mirror in Snow White. That's kind of funny. There are a lot of references in Wish to other Disney properties, so that very well could be the case, as a matter of fact, because because Wish was supposed to be the 100th anniversary animated movie. I wish it would have been brighter and more vivid and a better story, but it was a lot of references to other movies, like Snow White, for example, and other Disney princesses and other things were in that movie. So that could very well be, that's definitely a fan theory out there. And my mom is here. Good morning, Mom. Maybe not awake yet. I tell you what, it's not always easy for me to be here. Sometimes you might see if I've canceled the show, it's like it's really gotten that hard for me. But I'm trying to get my caffeine in me and all that stuff. Equus Heart says, good morning and good to see you in the chat. Equus Heart, Dylan Soup is here. Good to see you, Dylan Soup. Magic Adventures literally woke up 5 minutes ago. I understand. And CME Traveling. I love them, those guys. Morning Bradley's driving and listening while running errands. If you guys are ever coming down this way to Orlando, let me know. Jonathan Ruman says hi to Going Shogi. Going Shogi, of course, said woke up an hour early because of the cat licking. Cat licking. And we're going to get to that one. Alyssa, I see you in the chat, of course, helping out with the goal already. Awesome. Good morning from Alyssa1225. And Mike and Jen. Okay, I was right. It was Mike and Jen. Perfect. Those guys are so nice. And they're streaming every day lately in the parks. I'm not sure how often they get over, but the streams are really good, and I've enjoyed them. I really like some of the smaller streamers when there's not like tons and tons of people in the chat. I'm not really big on watching the bigger streamers anymore, and not that they don't do a good job, like the big ones like Resort TV One. I love that that crazy Disney lady, and Ear to Ear Magic, and some of the other ones. Great streamers. Great guy. I met all of them, and they're all really nice people. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like if you are watching a stream and you want to feel like you're there with the people, the smaller the stream. If you see 5 or 6 or 7 to 10 people watching with you in the chat, the chat's more personalized, and I watch the streams to feel like I'm there in the park with the people. And you can only feel that way if they're actually communicating with you. And if there's like 700 people in the chat, they ain't communicating with you. They don't care. And they don't have the ability. It's not their fault. It's actually a good thing for them. It's just that it's really, really difficult to communicate with hundreds of people at a time, which is it's a good problem to have. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of those balance things, you know. But I will say this: never ever become too big for your britches. You know what I mean by that. Tom F is here in the chat, and he says, "Good morning, all. CME Traveling. We'll let you know if we're in your area, Florida. Marsha will be in Orlando for work in May. Perfect, cool. The Bud File Sue is here. Good morning. Yes, indeed, we love that too. Love having the communication. Absolutely." And Going Shogi says, thanks to Alyssa1225 for the super chat, $2. Happy Wednesday. That goes toward the goal, and we appreciate that. And what do we do here on this channel? You know, if you've been here, but if you are new here, you might not know that we love to celebrate you. Because, like I said, you're the Energon, you're the Jigwatch. You make this channel go. You make me go. And I love celebrating all of you. So anytime we have support like this, whether it's $2, $5, $10, it can be a super chat, super thanks, super sticker. Although only super chats count towards a goal for some reason. But it can be a member milestone chat, or somebody becomes a member of the channel, or gifted memberships are dropped, or anything like that. Could be a PayPal, could be a buy me a copy, could even be somebody purchases something from our spread shop. Let's get that on the screen. Let's see here. Follow the Bradley's Fund spread shop. We're going to share this real quick. Could be that you want to purchase something from the spread shop, and if you do that during the show, we will celebrate that as well. So here's our spread shop over here, and we've got, of course, the Make Disney Walt Again, just like the hat I am wearing, because boy do we need to inject some Walt back into Walt Disney World for sure. Follow the Bradley's Fun. That's my fedora finds. Those are the news stories that I do. And of course, when I'm in the parks, I'm usually wearing the fedora. And we've got, of course, our family avatar logo t-shirts and everything. So any of those things that you can buy over there. And you do that, and we're going to celebrate you. Just like right now, we're going to celebrate Alyssa and her $2. What does the celebration look like? It's going to look something a little bit like this. If you got your custom emojis ready and you're a member of the channel, get ready. Let's dance. All right. All right. And then there's the link for the spread shop if you want to purchase any of the merch. Really got to get my Broccoli Mountain Hill design out. And I've been so behind on getting stuff done. Wish I had more energy. I need to be a 30-year-old doing this instead of a 53-year-old doing this. But yeah, we have our daily dish news today. The goal is 5. The goal will lead to VIP memberships at thatparkplace.com. So if we hit the goal today, we got VIP memberships. Also, the other goal today that you can't see up there, and I wish that YouTube would do something about this, is a membership goal. I just checked. I have 70 members on this channel right now. We need 5 more members. That's it. 5 more to get to the next custom emoji. Then I found out I'm a little bit behind Culture Casino, who has like over 1,000 members of the channel. Oh my goodness gracious me. I can't wait to get to that point. That's probably a little ways off for me, but the first big goal will be 100 members, and then the next big goal will be 100, 250, 500, 1,000. Yes, those goals are coming. But again, we need 5 new members of the channel, and then we will hit 75. And it's probably going to be the weird emoji, but it could be something else. We'll throw some ideas out there and let you guys vote. But we do want to get to. Oh, look at that! Look at that! That hits it. Let me see. I wonder. We've got to hit. Is
that everyone?
What, you wanted more?
Yeah, I wanted more. What are you gonna do? I'll tell you what. Let's celebrate that with a culture bit. All right, we've got Go and Shogi has gifted 5 Follow the Bradley's Fun memberships. Thank you, Go and Shogi, and congratulations goes out to Lotharen Prime, Huggy Wuggy, Liam Mental Health Advocate, That Service Dog, and Jeremiah Hembry. I love Jeremiah. Loves seeing him when he's here in the chat. And I'm just curious to see how long. Now, those new memberships, they do take a hot minute to propagate, but hopefully, those 5 should propagate later tonight, and then we should be pretty good. Because right now it says, I'm just trying to check out something here. Yeah, actually, I think we'll be good. So I will double check. Hopefully I'll be able to create that new emoji. I might put a placeholder emoji up just to make sure that I have it. Izzo's Place is in the house. What's up, Izzo's Place? Good to see you here. And let's start getting to our stories. Woof, woof. Thanks, Go and Shogi, from That Service Dog. So our stories, let's see here. We're going to be sharing this tab. All right, let's get to a funny story here first. I might share a few stories today. This is I just think this story is hilarious, right? This is out of thatparkplace.com. This is a minor story in comparison to everything else that's going on. I just think it's just funny. Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac cuddle. There's a photograph out there if you haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's in the article. I haven't read this article yet, by the way. Okay, very cool. So Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac cuddle as progressive media proceeds to lose its mind. Hails Hollywood snuggle as a strike back against toxic masculinity, which, by the way, I don't think there's any such thing as toxic masculinity. I don't know where people coin these phrases from. I think it's like one person gets angry at one other person, and they decide to just blame an entire group for it. But this kind of stuff it's just beyond the pale ridiculous to me. But this is so funny. The internet is buzzing once again over Pedro Pascal, but this time it's not because he's promoting some radical ideology or starring in just about every Hollywood project, every project Hollywood announces. No, this time it's all about an Instagram story featuring Pascal and his longtime friend Oscar Isaac full-on snuggling, something that has the legacy media predictably tripping over itself to declare yet another victory against so-called toxic masculinity. Yes, you read that right. Two Hollywood actors, one of whom is an outspoken progressive activist, posed in an intimate embrace, and suddenly it's a groundbreaking cultural moment. According to BuzzFeed and other progressive outlets, this wasn't just two industry friends playing up for social media. No, this was a brave stance, a powerful rejection of traditional masculinity, and apparently an inspiring moment for the future of men everywhere. And here's the picture. Pascal's punk, and it's just Oscar Isaac hugging Pedro Pascal, which is just literally not that big of a deal. Although it looks more like a father and son cuddle type of thing. It's just so weird. Like I don't know what why this. It's funny to me. To me, this looks more like some type of a satire post, but whatever. As BuzzFeed breathlessly put it, Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac are being praised for presenting non-toxic masculinity. Because nothing says fighting the patriarchy like spooning your buddy for Instagram clout. Let's not pretend that Pascal and Isaac didn't know exactly what kind of reaction they were going to get from this. Pedro Pascal, in particular, has built a reputation on pandering to progressive narratives. So it's no surprise that his latest internet breaking moment conveniently aligns with the left's ongoing mission to redefine masculinity. The media's reaction was as scripted as an awards show monologue, with progressive outlets and activists immediately jumping in to declare, this is what all men should aspire to be. Let me go back and look at the picture. See this picture? To me, there's nothing inspiring about that picture. Just two dudes that are hugging each other. That's all. This is such a joke. Sorry, this story is funny to me. Also, the word progressive, I really hate that word because typically the word progressive lines up with ideas that actually would be very, very, very incredibly regressive to society. The last thing we want to do is regress our society all the way back to, for example, the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Why would you want to regress to that? That's not progress, that's regress. The left has long been on a mission to feminize men and push women into more masculine roles, which is so weird. an ideology that has led to an endless cycle of hand-wringing over toxic masculinity, while simultaneously erasing the very traits that define strong, dependable men. This latest media swoon fest is just another chapter in that effort. Of course, the usual corners of social media wasted no time in celebrating the moment as a revolutionary act. I'm so over toxic masculinity. These two give me hope for the future, one Reddit user gushed. Another declared, ooh, more hot celebrity men known for playing tough guy, badass, strong man characters, displaying ultra non-toxic masculinity, please. But here's the thing. This wasn't just a casual display of friendship. This was more likely than not a deliberate performance. Pascal and Isaac probably knew exactly what they were doing, and they played right into the left-wing media's need for a new symbol of their ever-changing definition of masculinity. And right on cue, the media took the bait. At the same time, there's an obvious double standard at play. When male celebrities display any form of traditional masculinity, like Sylvester Stallone, they're accused of being problematic relics of a bygone era. But if they lean into a softer, more affectionate persona, especially if it aligns with progressive activism, they're paraded around as cultural icons. It's a lose-lose situation, unless, of course, you're willing to play along with the narrative. And let's not forget the subtle implication behind all of this. The idea that male friendships should look like this, that men who exhibit traditional masculine traits are somehow deficient in their ability to connect with others. It's yet an example of how the left seeks to rewrite the rules of society, dictating how men should behave and how they should express themselves, all while demonizing those who don't conform. And by the way, those who don't conform, that's the vast majority of people. You know why? Because humans are humans, and we've always been humans. Acting like society has changed from one generation to the next is ridiculous. Because the truth of the matter is, as people, as societies, the things that exist now have always existed. The rights that are right now have always been right. The wrongs that are wrong now have always been wrong. It goes back to a little book I like to call the Bible. So, what's the takeaway here from Pedro and Oscar? Well, if you're Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac, it's that you can post a staged, snuggling photo and be hailed as heroes of progressivism. As for the rest of it's another reminder that nothing, absolutely nothing is safe from being turned into a political statement by the modern media. It's so ridiculous. It's so funny. It's just, Disney Boy Stitch. Ooh, I know, right? It's so ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, you're Mr. Fantastic. I have no desire to watch this new version of Fantastic Four, even though the problem I have with the casting of Pedro Pascal specifically in the new Fantastic Four is the Pedro Pascal cast as Reed Richards doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. There's nothing about Pedro Pascal that screams Reed Richards. He doesn't look like him, doesn't talk like him, doesn't act like him. I like it. When I'm watching a comic book story, I want the comic book to jump off the screen. Christopher Reeve in Superman is the perfect example of that. Christopher Reeve, especially at the time, 1977, as Clark Kent and Superman, he jumped off the pages of a comic book onto the screen, and it just felt so awesome. And that's what I want out of my comic books. I want my comic books to be, for example, Daredevil Born Again. Daredevil is doing a good job of jumping off the screen. Maybe the best casting of anybody in the MCU is Charlie Cox's Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, who both knock it out of the park and are both very, very different in their day-to-day life than they are as their characters. So I watched episode 3 last night, by the way, and again, there's a huge problem with Daredevil because Daredevil Born Again is a pretty darn good show so far. Okay. The quality of Daredevil Born Again is not the issue. The problem is the viewership, and that is very problematic for the Disney company, because if they have a show this good and the viewership is this low, that is a huge issue, because what we're looking at is people are checking out of the MCU regardless of whether the MCU shows or movies are good or bad. This is out of thatparkplace.com. Again, Daredevil Born Again viewership exposed as Disney and Variety try to spin a disappointing launch. This is hard to believe. Worse than The Acolyte and Agatha, which basically means that people are unsubscribing to Disney Plus, and even something like Daredevil Born Again, which I think would be going gangbusters if it were still on Netflix, but because it's on Disney Plus, the numbers are bad, even though it's a very good show. I'm not going to say anything bad about the show so far. I'm very engaged. I'm really enjoying the show, but the numbers, oh my gosh. This is sad. Part of it, I think, has to do with the fact that it launched during the president's address to Congress, which is basically President Trump's first State of the Union address after being reelected. Clearly that's where the country's focus was that night, and this launched beside that, but these numbers are bad. Let me make sure that I'm on the screen correctly here. And Daredevil Born Again viewership exposed as Disney and Variety try to spin a disappointing launch, worse than The Acolyte and Agatha. March 11th, out of That Park Place by Mr. Montanero. And there's Charlie Cox in all of his Daredevil get up and garb. Marvel Studios had high hopes for Daredevil Born Again, positioning it as a major revival of the Netflix-era Daredevil series and a key effort to win back longtime fans. However, despite Variety and Disney painting the numbers as a success, a closer look reveals a starkly different story. According to Disney, Daredevil Born Again drew 7.5 million viewers in its first 5 days. Variety calls this a strong launch, but in reality, this number falls well below expectations for a series of this magnitude. Especially, I gotta say, it's a good series, guys. If you are into Daredevil, you're into Marvel, and you want to watch something refreshingly good, very adult. Do not let your kids watch this. It's a very adult thing. But it's good, and it's sad that it's performing so poorly. For comparison, The Acolyte, a series that performed so poorly it was shelved after one season, managed 11.1 million viewers in its first week. That was already considered underwhelming, coming in 3 million below Ahsoka. Even Agatha, all along, widely regarded as a disastrous misfire for Marvel streaming, managed 9.3 million in its first week. This raises serious questions about the future of Marvel's television projects. If Daredevil Born Again, with its strong brand recognition and returning fan favorite cast, can't outperform some of Marvel's weakest streaming entries, is the studio truly capable of turning things around? Oof. Disney and Variety can attempt to spin these numbers, but the reality is clear. This was supposed to be a major comeback, and instead, it signals further decline. Adding to the issue is Disney's selective release of streaming data. Unlike platforms such as Netflix and Amazon Prime, which provide detailed metrics, Disney Plus releases numbers only when they suit a positive narrative. This makes their claims difficult to verify, yet even using Disney's own viewership metrics, Daredevil Born Again appears to be one of the weakest performing Marvel debuts on the platform. At this point, Marvel Studios is facing an uphill battle to regain audience trust. The push to reclaim the momentum of the past is growing more desperate, and projects like Daredevil Born Again were meant to be the remedy. Instead, with a launch this lackluster, it seems the studio is still struggling to bring audiences back. If Marvel legacy characters can't drive engagement, what does that mean for its future? Disney may continue to shape the narrative, but the numbers don't lie. If Daredevil Born Again and its lackluster viewership is being framed as a success, what does that say about the state of Marvel's streaming strategy? It's I say that it's not good unless the numbers for Daredevil Born Again pick up, and I honestly hope they do. I'm actually rooting for this show. One of the reasons I'm rooting for the show is because if the numbers come into play, if the numbers, perk up, it might be a message to Marvel that this is the kind of material that you need to make. And we want Marvel to make quality shows again, quality movies again. Captain America Brave New World was such a letdown compared to some of the Marvel projects in the past. And I don't have a lot of faith in the upcoming movies of Thunderbolts, even though Thunderbolts kind of looks good. I just don't think it's going to perform well at the box office because they're not characters that people know very well. We'll see. It does have Bucky in it, so maybe there's that. And but what it feels like they did with Brave New World is they took Falcon and Winter Soldier, they made Falcon Captain America to try and give him his own movie, split off the Winter Soldier as Bucky and to give him his own movie with Thunderbolts. It looks like cash grabs rather than good storytelling. Yeah. So the mom says, I'd watch it, but Disney would have to pay me $49.99 a month to have their service again. They've actually got it for $3 a month right now. That's their special. It's like me. I've got a post. I'm not going to see Snow White in the theaters unless, like the others on that Park Place Network who have been paid $500 to go see it. I'm not going unless somebody does that. So, because I'm not going to see Snow White. But we are going to see you guys. Thank you for the gifties. Going Shogi 5. Gifted memberships there. Support from Alyssa, $12.25, $2. And we love to celebrate you.
Is it too much? Too much? It's just perfect!
Oh, this is just the best of us. So we've got a couple of other stories, and both of these stories are Snow White related stories. So I'm going to put this on the screen right now. By the way, we still have four more super chats to get to our goal. And if we get that goal during the show, we will be releasing VIP memberships to thatparkplace.com where you will be able to where you're going to be able to read the VIP stories that are currently behind a paywall. Normally it's $5 for that, so it's not a huge expense either, but we're giving away for free if we hit 4 more super chats today. Magic Adventure says we're not going to go see it either. What I'm encouraging everybody to do is watch, if you have Disney Plus or you have another way to watch it, watch the classic animated Snow White on the release date, because that is the classic animated Snow White it's the good one to watch. Generally speaking, I think people are tired of generally speaking, I think people are tired of the live action remakes. But this one's more problematic because of the words of Rachel Zegler herself. My beautiful wife is entered the chat. Good morning, baby. Love you. Everyone say hi to my beautiful wife, Virginia. She is here. She is in the chat. So we're going to talk about Rachel Zegler. Has been such a problem as an actress for this new Snow White film that Disney is really, really, really worried about the kind of things that she will say. Whether it's press junkets, a premiere, whatever, they have had to scale her back. They've had to pull her back. So Disney scales back Snow White U.S. premiere. No traditional red carpet media interviews allowed. This is incredibly unusual for Disney. They've even pulled back the number of theaters I think that they're putting this in, because even in my own theater, there's not the normal number of showings that should be for a movie that is supposed to be this big. Oh my goodness. So this is Out of That Park Place by Mr. Montanaro, with just days to go before the release of its live action Snow White remake. Disney's drastically reducing its usual Hollywood premiere spectacle. The studio's still hosting an event on March 15th at the El Capitan Theater, but it won't include the extensive red carpet and media presence typically associated with a major Disney release. Instead, only photographers and a house crew will be allowed to cover the event, with no traditional press interviews taking place. Wow, that is crazy. Like, it's normally these premieres are such a big deal that they put them on YouTube and they'll put them on Disney Plus. They'll make a big spectacle of the premiere. They'll celebrate everybody in it. They'll do the red carpet interviews. They want fans to know. It's not happening for this. Disney has not commented on the shift, but even Variety acknowledges that this decision comes amid ongoing controversy surrounding the film. The move follows months of backlash and marketing missteps, making it clear that Disney is playing defense as the film nears its March 21st theatrical release. A premiere unlike other Disney films. In the past, Disney has gone all out for live action remakes, with elaborate red carpet events, numerous interviews, media blitz, build hype. The decision to scale back this aspect of Snow White signals a lack of confidence in the film's reception. For context, even underperforming Disney films have received the full red carpet treatment. There is Gal Gadot as the evil queen, who is certainly more fair than Snow White. Captain America Brave New World, despite concerns over its potential box office performance, still had a high-profile rollout, yet with Snow White, Disney is seemingly keeping things low-key. That's a move that only raises more questions about the film's prospects. Rachel Zegler remains absent from U.S. media. The premiere downgrade aligns with Disney's broader approach to limiting Snow White's exposure. As we previously reported, lead actress Rachel Zegler has been noticeably absent from American press appearances. Instead, Disney sent her on a scripted, highly controlled press tour in Japan, where she was unlikely to face tough questions about her past comments or the film's creative direction, probably because they spoke Japanese, so she couldn't even answer them. Not in their language. This is a stark contrast to how Disney promotes its other high-profile films. Usually the lead star is front and center in talk shows, interviews, press junkets leading up to the release. The decision to keep Rachel Zegler largely away from the American media suggests the studio is trying to prevent further controversy. Controversies continue to overshadow Snow White. The film has faced intense scrutiny from the start. Many longtime Disney fans expressed frustration over changes to the classic Snow White story, particularly the decision to replace these seven dwarfs with a mixed group of characters. Peter Dinklage criticized the original film's portrayal of little people, leading to Disney's overhaul of that aspect of the movie, which only fueled further debate. When fans pushed back on the seven diverse individuals, they replaced them with seven CGI characters that have been the subject to fan ridicule. What I have seen online is the seven CGI monstrosities. I've also seen nightmare fuel. You look at the picture right here. Good night. That just doesn't look right. It's a live action film. They should have had live action dwarfs. Very simple. Then there was Zegler's own approach to the role. Her dismissive remarks about the 1937 animated film, including calling it dated and portraying the prince as a problematic stalker, sparked backlash. Many felt she was insulting the legacy of one of Disney's most iconic films, further alienating audiences who might otherwise have been interested in the remake. Beyond the film itself, Zegler has also been in the center of social media controversies. Past comments on political topics, from the conflict in the Middle East to President Trump's re-election, have fueled even more division. Box office expectations remain grim. Despite the reduced premiere event, Disney still hopes Snow White can pull in strong numbers. However, industry estimates remain unimpressive, with projections placing its opening weekend between $48 and $58 million. If these numbers hold, it would rank among Disney's lowest live-action openings in recent years. Adding to concerns, the film's presence in key theaters is much smaller than expected at Disney Springs AMC in Orlando, a venue on Walt Disney World property known for showcasing Disney films prominently. Snow White's only being allocated a handful of screens. This limited theatrical rollout suggests Disney isn't expecting a surge of demand even in its own backyard theater. What this means for the future of Snow White and Disney's future, scaling back a Hollywood premiere, is not something Disney does lightly. This decision, combined with Zegler's limited press appearance and the film's underwhelming box office projection, paints a clear picture. Disney is trying to minimize the damage. This latest move reinforces the ongoing struggles of Disney's live-action remakes. Once seen as box office wins, these films are no longer guaranteed successes. If Snow White underperforms as expected, it could force Disney to rethink its approach to these remakes, which might be actually a good thing, because it would be so nice if Disney actually, I don't know, here's an idea, create something completely new, Disney. How about that? Used to be the forefront of doing that. With just days left until the release, Disney seems to be bracing for impact rather than celebrating a major theatrical event. The question now is whether Snow White can overcome its rocky lead-up, or if it will cement itself as yet another cautionary tale in Disney's recent string of misfires. So what about you guys? Let me know in the comments below. Will you be going to see Snow White supporting Rachel Zegler, or maybe supporting Gal Gadot? Or perhaps not. Let me know in the comments below, and feel free to sound off on the snow. The snow angel, this is not. We have yet one more story that we have to get to, but I see something starred. Oh, look at this. We've got Magic Adventures is coming in. We're going to watch on Disney Plus, maybe, not sure. I'm sure that when it comes on Disney Plus, I'm going to watch it. I got Disney Plus for a lot of reasons, but first and foremost, we got to celebrate. Let's celebrate. Oh, we love Culture Bear, Culture Casino. Yes, his link is up. We will be redirecting right to Culture Casino. You're fine. You are good. There's always a rewatch. By the way, I'm so bad at reminding people, please hit the like button below. I'm really bad at saying that, but it does help out the channel. It's, likes, subscribes, notifications on, sharing on social media, coming back in and actually commenting on these live streams, or commenting on them later after the chat. All of that kind of stuff helps. And again, the biggest help is if I put up a video, for example, just like a vlog video or a separate news video, for our finds video. If you click on those to watch them, it really helps that you watch all the way through. Because that is the biggest thing that YouTube looks at is, are you watching the videos all the way through? Now I know where those bear nightmates started. Oh, look at this. Thank you so much, Magic Adventure. You guys don't have to do that. Disney may allow people to share it on their own backyard screen just so it gets... You might be right. This is really funny. A lot of people don't know. This hasn't been a news story that I've seen, but I can tell you that Captain America Brave New World streamed for 12 hours. The full movie streamed for 12 hours the other day on YouTube. And it finally got taken down, but it had almost 1 million views by the time it got taken down. So, some people are willing to watch things for free, obviously. But yeah, it's crazy. So 3 out of the 5 we will hit. Yes, I'm just making sure that we have time, but let's hit another celebration. This is one of our favorites. And again, if you're not subscribed to Magic Adventures, please go do that. Go on Shogi. If you want to drop their link in the chat again, we would appreciate that. Let's get to our number one story of the day. And again, our number one story is, in fact, related to this particular story as well. It's another Snow White story, but it's one that I'm saving to the end because I am frankly extremely, extremely mad about this one. This one ticks me off because this one is about things that I don't think are fair in our society. Especially as somebody who lived in Israel. Now, I am not Israeli and I am not Jewish, but I am a very strong advocate with the Israeli people and with the Jewish people and the Jewish culture. I grew up around and with a lot of Jewish people. And one of the things that I cannot stand, and it will not fly with me, is bigotry and anti-Semitism towards Jewish people, towards the Jewish race. It's very, very bothersome. So, and here's the link. So let me preface the story. It's not just Gal Gadot. It is a lot of other Jewish people being hit hard lately, and I will not stand for it. You try to pass that bigotry, anti-Semitism, prejudice stuff with me, and it will not fly. Because I'm tremendously pro-Israel and I'm tremendously pro the Jewish people. And so this kind of stuff really, really bugs me. So it seems that with the popularity of the live action Snow White looking like it is declining and looking like it's not going to be a success, the media seems to want to shift the blame not from Rachel Zegler because of all of the ridiculous takes that she's had, things that she said, social media posts that are against half of the country. No, they want to try and shift the blame towards Gal Gadot. This is ridiculous to me. Legacy media tries to shift blame for Snow White failures to Gal Gadot instead of Rachel Zegler after the ADL speech. But the truth is obvious. And look, there they are at the Oscars. Gal Gadot next to Rachel Zegler. Look at just this picture, the posture. Gal Gadot looks poised and elegant. Rachel Zegler, I don't know where she's staring, but she just looks so smug, and it's very, very bothersome to me. So, with Snow White just days from release, even Variety is acknowledging Disney's struggles with the film. But rather than focus on the real reason audiences have rejected it, Disney's creative choices and Rachel Zegler's inflammatory remarks, the legacy media is now subtly bringing Gal Gadot into the conversation. And there she is once again as the evil queen. But she doesn't really look like an evil queen in this picture. She just looks elegant and royal and like everything that you'd really want in a leader. Disney has already scaled back Snow White's Hollywood premiere, limiting media access and skipping the usual red carpet spectacle, a move that signals serious concerns over public reception. However, in a Variety report about the scaled back event, the article made an unnecessary pivot towards Gal Gadot, attempting to tie her recent speech at the Anti-Defamation League Summit to the controversy surrounding Snow White. The problem? Gadot's remarks had nothing to do with the film, while Zegler's repeated missteps are the real reason this movie is a PR disaster. Variety's attempted narrative shift. In this article, Variety reporter Mark Malkin, a man who's most well known for asking actors about same-gender relationships in their projects, wrote, "World politics have also come into play. Zegler has promoted Free Palestine on social media. At the same time, Gadot, who's Israeli, has become an outspoken supporter of Israel on social media, as well as in a passionate speech she delivered on March 4th when she was honored at the Anti-Defamation League's annual summit in New York City, as Gal Gadot deserved to be honored." The framing is deliberate. Instead of keeping the focus on Zegler's self-inflicted controversies, Variety introduces Gadot through Malkin as if her speech at a formal ADL event somehow plays a role in Snow White's struggles. Yeah, the two literally have nothing to do with each other. This is a textbook deflection tactic, an attempt to shift the conversation from Disney's failure to manage the film's rollout to a broader political issue. Malkin shovels blame away from the combustible Zegler and onto Gadot, a woman who spoke at an anti-defamation conference and affirmed her identity as a Jewish person. The clear difference? Context. Yes, context matters. Gadot's speech at the ADL was entirely appropriate for the occasion. She spoke about her Jewish heritage, her family's history, and the rise of anti-Jewish hostility, all within the context of an event designed to address these topics. Her remarks were not controversial, nor were they inserted into a space where they didn't belong. She was invited to speak about these issues, and she did so with poise and purpose. If you go to the That Park Place VIP article, you can see the video of her speech right here. And also, I have a snippet of it in a short on my channel. My name is Gal Gadot. Sorry, I read that wrong. She says, my name is Gal, and I'm Jewish, she said. Isn't it crazy that just saying that, just expressing such a simple fact about who I am, feels like a controversial statement? But sadly, this is where we are at today. She went on to say that she will continue to stand against anti-Jewish prejudice. We will call it out, but we will never let it not only defeat us, but define us, she noted, because our love is stronger than their hate. I really, really love the way she put that. I watched the speech, watched her say this, and I think the important thing about this is she says very clearly, yes, they are going to call it out, but they're not going to let it defeat us, not going to let it define us, as other groups have done. Other groups have said that what they feel against them has held them back. Not Gal Gadot. Not Gal Gadot, not for the Jewish people. She's not going to hold her back at all. She's just going to acknowledge it and say it's not going to define me, but I'm definitely acknowledging it. These are the statements Variety is trying to lump into Snow White's PR disaster. Gadot was speaking about her identity in a setting where it made sense. Meanwhile, Rachel Zegler hijacked a promotional post for Snow White's trailer to clumsily inject her personal political stance, posting Free Palestine in a comment meant to push a Disney film. Yes, when she said that, when Rachel Zegler put that in her comments, it was literally a comment on the trailer of the film. It was crazy. Wrong context, wrong place, wrong time. Gal Gadot spoke about her identity at an ADL conference. Rachel Zegler tied her political stance directly into the promotion of the film. To conflate the two is egregious, offensive, and seems to reek of the very issues Gadot was speaking out against. Zegler used Snow White to push her own agenda. Zegler's actions are what truly dragged Snow White into political controversy. Instead of keeping the focus on the film, she chose to use her platform to make divisive statements in a space where it didn't belong. This is in addition to her now infamous comments dismissing the 1937 Snow White film, calling the prince a stalker, and saying her version of the character would not be focused on true love. Disney has been in full damage control mode ever since, limiting her media exposure and keeping her away from major U.S. press interviews. The Tokyo promotional tour was heavily scripted, and the Hollywood premiere has been severely scaled back, signaling that Disney wants to minimize her ability to make headlines. Yes, yet rather than focus on how Zegler's words directly impacted audience perception, Variety is pulling in Gadot, a move that conveniently spreads the controversy wider, diffusing Zegler's responsibility. Media deflection in action. The Variety article by Mark Mulkin is structured in a way that suggests a classic misdirection tactic. Instead of squarely addressing Disney's mismanagement of Snow White, the piece draws attention to outside political issues, subtly implying that the controversy is more about global tensions than the film itself. In doing so, it shifts the conversation away from the reality that Disney's marketing and Zegler's behavior have tanked audience interest. Let's be clear. The Snow White backlash started long before Gadot spoke at the ADL. The film faced pushback when Disney made significant changes to the original story, when it replaced the Seven Dwarfs with a different lineup of characters, when Zegler dismissed the legacy of the beloved animated classic film. It suffered further from Zegler's political posturing, inserting the Middle Eastern conflict into a post promoting the film and going on a rant following Donald Trump's presidential victory, where she stated that Trump and his supporters should never know peace. By the way, that's like 80 million people. Maybe not a good idea to say that to 80 million potential viewers of the movie. If audiences have turned on Snow White, it's because of these creative choices and marketing failures, not because Gadot spoke about her identity and religion in an unrelated event. Damage control before release. Disney is clearly aware that Snow White is headed towards trouble. The scaled-back premiere, the lack of full press tour for Zegler in the U.S., and the limited theatrical rollout all indicate that expectations are low. Now, with outlets like Variety trying to pull Gadot into the conversation, it appears that some in the media are looking for ways to diffuse blame. They're perhaps setting up a narrative that suggests external political discourse rather than Disney's own missteps is a reason for the film's struggles. It also helps Rachel Zegler save face in the wake of her many, many controversies. However, as press for the movie continues, Gadot is the one featured on talk shows, while Zegler has been relegated to tightly controlled and scripted social media vignettes. The bottom line, the audience sees through this. The backlash against Snow White was never about Gal Gadot's assertion that her identity and religion are valid. It has always been about how Disney handled this remake and how its lead actress treated the film's legacy. Gal Gadot's speech had nothing to do with Snow White, and yet Mark Malkin of Variety attempted to fold her into the controversy. It's a transparent attempt to create a false equivalency where none exists. Meanwhile, Zegler's decision to push her political stance on a Snow White trailer post is the real problem. One actress stuck to discussing her identity in an appropriate forum, while the other inserted her opinions into a corporate film rollout and alienated a large portion of the audience. Yet, the media is treating them as if they're equally responsible for the backlash. As Snow White approaches release, expect more of these media deflection tactics to focus on Gal Gadot, but the real issue remains unchanged. Audiences don't trust this remake, and Disney has done little to change their minds, including my own. I have great support for the original Snow White animated classic because that animated classic created the Disney that we know today. But I have very little faith in this remake of Snow White. Again, I don't think anybody's going to be making snow angels over this movie, but I do highly support Gal Gadot, and I wish her the best. And I just hope that this doesn't hurt Gal Gadot's career at all. I think she's going to knock it out of the park in her role as the evil queen. And as many have said, I'm rooting for the apple. Let's see the comments. DL Fendel is here. Let me see. He says, I don't think they honestly believe these acts will stop the snow bleeding. They are creating arguments for the stockholders meeting that will say, oh, we did what we could. Honestly, you know what? You have a very good point, DL. By the way, isn't what Zegler said exactly what Disney falsely accuses? Yes, and I don't know. You may have noticed that when I was on the Pro Show that I kind of pointed that out, that these kind of comments, these types of things are, the more they go forward with this, the more it hurts Disney's case against Gina Carano. I think that Gina is going to win. Guys, we are too shy of our goal in the chat. If anybody wants to donate even 99 cents twice, that would get some VIP memberships released for everybody, and they will thank you for those VIP memberships to that Park Place. But we are grateful for all of your support today because there's been a lot of good support. We have Go and Shogi gifting 5. Follow the Bradley's Fun memberships. Alyssa 1225 coming in strong with the $2 Happy Wednesday. Magic Adventures twice with We Will Watch on Disney Plus. Maybe, not sure. And also with Disney may allow people to share it on their own backyard screens. I could actually see that happening. And for all this, before we take off today, of course, we got to celebrate you guys with this one.
Is it too much? Too much? It's perfect! Wahoo!
Oh, this is too much. Give me a break. I couldn't be more excited. Okay, this anticipation is making me mental. But if they say yes, you can be on the show, I think I would go so crazy.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We will make it a goal tomorrow and see. Hopefully tomorrow we can hit that goal and give away some VIP That Park Place memberships. But today I got to get you guys over to Culture because I'm sure he's probably already started. Thank you so much. And until next time, we will see you real soon. Also, look for Virginia Bradley Adventures or Virginia Bradley Magical Adventures to possibly be live in the parks today. I'll put it up on my channel. If it is, I'll put it up in a community post, and we'll see you real soon. Say hi to Culture for me, everybody. Ciao, bye.